It's time for Let's Chat with Russtek, a podcast dedicated to helping entrepreneurs just like you. When starting out, entrepreneurs often feel they need to go it alone, and I'm here to tell you that's just not the case. Entrepreneurs have a lot of questions, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Nick Russell, and this is Let's Chat with Russtek. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat with Russtek. My name is Nick, and today we're just going to keep that ball rolling. We're going to keep talking about Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets book, and I'm going to give you some more value from that book and things that I've learned and taken from that book and used in my own business. Now, if you've ever met me in person, if we've ever gone out, if we've ever had a beer, or even chatted online, you know I love to tell stories. I'm one of those people that loves to talk and engage with others, and I do love to tell stories. That could be a downfall. It might be a blessing. Some people may love it. Some people may hate it. But I'm a storyteller. I love to tell stories. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is telling stories. Now, if you remember a little bit back, a few months back on May 4th. Now, May 4th is Star Wars Day. And I wrote a blog and did a podcast talking about how the script that's used to make the Star Wars movies, Harry Potter movies, and really any movie, it's called The Hero's Journey. Now, that's something that's been around for quite some time, and it takes, you have the main character, he or she finds a guide, then they dive into the internal and external troubles they're having, and they kind of move along the way. They get a plan, and it ultimately leads to success at the end of the story, at the end of the movie, a TV show, whatever the case may be. Now, that's something that Russell Brunson's actually taken, and he's used that in marketing. Now, if you've ever really paid attention to the blogs that I write, these podcasts / YouTube videos, it all kind of starts with the same outline, the same framework. I always start off, I tell a story, and I kind of tie in that story with the value that I want to give you. So I'll tell you a little bit of a story and how it relates to me, and then I'll give you the value that kind of ties in with that story. And the reason I do that is I'm just not reading from a book and giving it to you. I'm not looking online, taking something online, and then just giving that to you. You can look it up online yourself. You can get the books yourself. I like to tell a story and how it relates to me, what I've learned from that, and then how I can give that back to you with some more value. And then at the end of my blogs or my podcast, I usually have a call to action, but I usually try to give some sort of a value or a resource to help you on your journey with whatever I talked about. So if you paid attention in the last month or so, in all of these blogs, I'm taking what I've learned from the Expert Secrets book and talking about how I've used these and how you could use those tips and tricks and frameworks that I've learned, and how you could use those in your business. Now, at the end, the call to action is sending you to Russell Brunson's site. This is not even my site. I'm giving you that book for free, and you just have to pay the shipping for it. Because I could tell you everything that I've learned from this blog or from that book, and it's still not enough. Like, he is such a brilliant writer, and he is the best marketer in the world. So the value you get from that book is priceless. Now, what he teaches in that book is the same thing he uses for his coaching clients. And in one of the sections, one of the secrets, as he calls them, the chapters, he talks about the Epiphany Bridge. Now, the Epiphany Bridge script is kind of similar to the hero's journey and kind of similar to what I'm doing in these blogs. So in everything he does with that Epiphany Bridge, there's always a backstory to it. And then from that backstory, it goes into the internal and external struggles that we'll use Russell. So if he's teaching you something, he'll give you a little bit of a backstory. Then he'll give you the internal and external struggles that went along with that. From there, he'll talk about how he solved that problem. And from solving that problem, how he created the framework that helped him solve that problem, and then in turn give you that framework. Now, I'm not that good. I'm not at that level quite yet, but that's exactly what I'm doing with these blogs on a much simpler level. So that's the Epiphany Bridge. You start with that backstory. You go to the internal and external beliefs, or the internal and external struggles. Then from those struggles, you talk about how you solve that problem. And then from there, how you develop that framework and how that framework can help your target audience. So that's how that Epiphany Bridge script works. And the cool thing about that, using the Epiphany Bridge script, is this is a script you can use just even in your social media posts on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You can use it on Twitter and multiple tweets. You can do that on Instagram, whatever the case may be. You can do YouTube videos. You can do TikToks, blogs, whatever the case may be. One of the coolest things about this script, it's something that you can use in your funnels as well. So you can use this Epiphany Bridge script in your funnels to help generate leads, upsell your target audience to whatever your next offer is, and then use that in a sales video and a sales script to get to that one-time offer. So all the way through that funnel, you could use this script. And it's part of the script that I use in my social media bundle script, where I offer the 30 days of content for free and going through my funnel. That's the script I use, and it's worked very, very well for me, because everything in that funnel is something that's taken me a while to learn. I've turned that into something that I can help you with, and then I have the resources to even further that for you, so you can take that to the next level. So that's basically what the Epiphany Bridge script is. And believe me, it's such an incredible tool, an incredible script that you could use in your marketing yourself. Now, if you really want to dive deep and learn a lot more about that, like I mentioned before, Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets book is free. If you're in Canada, I believe it's a $15 to $20 shipping fee. If you're in the US, or in international shipping, but if you're in the US, I believe it's about $7. And it is a hardcover book. It's huge. Trust me, it is. You could pay $50 for this book and it would be worth it, but it doesn't cost that much. You just have to pay shipping. It's absolutely free. So I'll put that in the description of the podcast, YouTube video as well, if you're watching this on YouTube, and it's all over my social media links. And you'll also see that it'll be posted later today on our Facebook and all that kind of stuff as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this podcast. Hopefully you get a brief little touch on the Epiphany Bridge script and how that could really help you. When it comes to your marketing, building those relationships with your audience is absolutely key. Starting with a backstory and providing value is even better, right? So hopefully you enjoyed this podcast and you got some value out of it, and we'll chat with you again next week. Hold on one quick second. I have one thing to offer you, and it's absolutely free. So just give me about 20, 30 seconds of your time, and I promise you this is going to be worth it. Now, if you've been listening to my podcast, my blogs for the last few weeks, we've been talking about Expert Secrets, a book by Russell Brunson. Now, this is a book you can get absolutely free. All you have to do is click the link to the description of this podcast or YouTube video if you're watching it. But this is not just any book. This is a book that helps you find your message, no matter what your industry is, and use that to serve your audience and become an expert in whatever field it is you're in. Now, this book is what Russell uses, everything from cover to cover. He uses this to coach his clients, and to be one of his clients, he charges $10,000. So you could either spend $10,000 to learn from the best marketer in the world, or you can click the link in the description of this podcast / YouTube video and get your copy of Expert Secrets absolutely free. I've read this book about 4 or 5 times at least, and I use it as a textbook now because it is that good. So again, if you want Expert Secrets for free, something Russell Brunson uses and charges his clients $10,000 for, you can get that absolutely free by clicking the link in the description of this video or heading to rustekmedia.com/links and click on the Expert Secrets button.